My name's Blake Jennings, and I'm at IL 562, leading change for student learning with Dr. Brooks, and this is our principal at Ohatchee High School, Bobby Tittle. Asking a few questions here for our interview one with our principal. Number one, what impacts do you play in the classroom on an academic level?
Well, mainly on an academic level, obviously a lot of the content is already given to y'all. So it's not like I necessarily go in and look and see what y'all are teaching and go in and tell you what to teach. We go in and just kind of assess things on a day-to-day basis, make sure kids are engaged, make sure technology is being used, make sure and really when I go in, I want to showcase what our teachers are doing. So you'll see me taking pictures and tweeting things out. That's important to me because on an academic level, the academic part of it is not publicized as much as the athletic part of it. So I want people to see what our academics are doing here. And if there's an academic article comes out about the school, I want to tweet that out. For example, we had one come out about our ACT scores the other day, and so I pushed that out because that's not publicized as much as it should be, and our academics, I think, are great. They're one of the best around. So
could be something that gets put in, the NSS Star or something.
Yes,
it should have been printed.
Right. And so I think that's the impact I put on is to publicize the great things that are going on. Luckily, all of our teachers are great here. We've hired a great staff, and that's vital.
How do you assess the content that your teachers decide to teach in their classroom that'll help the students maybe later on in life? What are some things that they'll learn from it that they'll take with them when they get into the real world?
Well, mainly, again, like I said a while ago, the real world, you've got to know technology in the real world today. And so when I go in the classroom, not technology necessarily every day because you're doing different things every day, but throughout a few observations, I want to make sure that technology is being utilized. I want to make sure that students are being engaged. Different problem-solving skills, group activities are going on because in the real world situation, you're going to have to work with others. You're going to have to problem solve. You're going to have to figure out how to solve different problems. And you do that in your classroom a lot with those roller coasters and the different things they got to build and think and actually use some different skills.
Right.
And so that's important in the work and career environment.
How do some of the managerial tasks of your teachers, such as discipline, lunchroom duty, bus duty, car rider duty in the morning times, how do they have an impact, do you think, on a student's academic success throughout the day, throughout the school day?
Well, I think it's vital because to me, an unstructured school or unstructured environment is going to lead to chaos.
Right.
And so all of our teachers manage discipline very well. We have very few write-ups for the most part. I think that how they students from parking to coming in to being in the lunchroom to leaving to making sure they clean up properly, that's just life skills. When they get to the work environment, they're going to have to be on time. They're going to have to make sure their area is clean. When they get to just owning their own house, they're going to have to make sure things are structured and cleaned up properly. But academic success to me is strictly it's merged together with just the overall daily routine of the school.
Right. For your teachers, maybe what role do you play in providing our staff, our school, with the correct professional development?
I think it goes back, number one, what is the system pushing at the time?
Right.
Calhoun County Schools, what are they pushing at the time? Right now it's CHAMPS.
Right.
CHAMPS training's big, so we're going to have to go. Last summer CHAMPS training was big, so that's what they're pushing. That's what our consent decree is off of, and so that trickles down to what we have to do here. I have CHAMPS training in July again, and so there will be some CHAMPS training going on there for professional development. If we see there's always with our teachers here that utilize technology every day, there's always a need for technology updates because it's always changing. So that's always going to be a built-in part of it. So that's where it mainly comes from, is what is the system pushing. Technology is always ever-changing, so you always want to update there.
What input do you have in our continuous improvement plan, our CIP?
A lot. I'm the one that enters it in. I'm the one that we have meetings throughout the school year, but one of the things during in-service, we're going to sit down and make up 2 or 3 goals.
Right.
And so that's what we're going to do. This past year, for example, one of our goals was to lower our discipline by 10%. And we did that. And in order to do that, you have to make sure that's being done, you have to check on it periodically. All right, where are we at compared to this time frame last year? Where are we at now compared to this time frame last year? And so me and Mr. Graham, assistant principal, we would do that periodically throughout the year. Also, that goes back to when we would have meetings, principal meetings, that data was already put to us because that's being pushed. It's there. And it's, you got a green cell on this, a green cell on this, and luckily, through implementation of some new strategies, our discipline did go down. It's actually a lot more than 10%.
So with pretty much, it just seems with us being a county school, the system itself does a pretty good job of getting things out to us and telling us what to work on. This is the areas we gotta fix.
Yes, and a lot of that is not necessarily based upon what they. It's based upon, like I said, like a consent decree we're trying to get out of. And so, when our numbers look good in certain areas, then our consent decree goes away.
Are there any aspects as a principal, if there's any, there might not be any, that you might think that our teachers could implement more in their instructional strategies in the classroom? Is there anything different they might can do?
Honestly, not really, because I think our teachers do a great job of implementing technology. Our students are engaged. It's more than just sitting there in rows every day.
Right.
You go in any classroom, they're moving around. You have different strategies. They might be in the library, they might be in the lab, they may be outside.
Right. So doing a good job of hitting all those different learning styles.
Yeah. So I think our teachers do a great job.
Just a few more questions. The vision and mission of Ohatchee High School. What exactly would our vision be as a school?
Basically, just summing up is to ensure excellence in teaching and learning.
Okay.
That's just to kind of sum it up a little bit.
How do you and Mr. Graham, our assistant principal, how do you guys work together on a day in and day out basis of achieving that mission and that vision?
Basically, it goes back to hiring good people. Surround yourself with good people, and that happens. Ensure excellence in teaching and learning. Again, I go back, I brag all the time on our teachers as a whole for what they do in the classroom, the different things. If you look back, just this year, calendar year alone, 2017, we've had 3 Calhoun County Employee of the Months.
Right.
We had, you got the Calhoun County Technology Teacher of the Month one time. We've had a Coach of the Year. We've had you and our softball coach got the counties or the Anderson Star coach. So, when you have that type of thing, you got to surround yourself with good people.
Right.
It's easy to get that mission statement across.
Right. When you first became a teacher, how do you think education has evolved since that time?
When I first became a teacher, it was more about, I think now you have to have a better relationship with kids.
Right.
I think that's vital. My first year was 1999, and even before then and right after then, you could just kick a kid out of a program, not think twice about it, keep on moving. Now with the lack of family environment, with the lack of parental environment, with
like poverty is
now, I think you have to build relationships. Right. I think you have to have an almost an individualized lesson plan for each one.
Yeah.
You got some of these seniors that might be living on their own.
Right.
Can't come in at 7:20, has to come in at 9:30.
Mm-hmm.
You just have to make it work.
That's right.
You just have to make it work.
That's right. Last question for you, just pertaining to student learning and things of that nature. What maybe be one subject or one value that you might suggest to the State Department of Alabama that you think needs to be included in today's curriculum?
ROTC.
Okay. All right.
I wish every student had to take ROTC.
That'd be great.
When I was at Tittle High School as assistant principal, we had an ROTC program, and by the time I left there, we had just about, it was a 9 through 12 school, and just about every freshman had to go through ROTC. And,
Just a lot for kids.
oh, yeah, the skills they learn, being there with the military
Right.
instructors, and just the leadership they gain, the work ethic they gain, ROTC.
Okay, all right. Well, appreciate you doing this interview today. Maybe have to do another one later on.
Appreciate it.